Anyway, guy comes by, and he was just weird. You know how you meet somebody and right off the bat, they just give you an odd feeling?
Yeah.
He was just a weird dude. He was all over the place. He was talking about religion and all this crazy shit. Like, dude, I can help you out. I can do whatever you want. I can do all this shit for you. I'm like, dude, we just met. And I'm like,
I just met you.
yeah, I literally just met. It was like the scene in, have you seen The Big Lebowski, right?
Yes.
It was like the scene in Lebowski where the detective guy meets him, and he's like, and he's like, who the fuck are you, man? That's what it felt like. So anyway, there was no...
I've heard John Rambo a few times go, who the fuck is this guy?
He said that to me a few times. Anyway, the guy was just giving me weird vibes. So I was like, all right, bro, here's the thing. Give me a couple days to think about this. I'll call you back and let you know.
Yeah.
So this was on a Tuesday, and like end of August. Anyway, I didn't call him back, and I figured he would just know.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't call me back. He's probably not interested.
Right, like a job interview.
Right. So anyway, keep in mind, this was on a Tuesday. Fast forward to that Sunday morning, about 6:30 a.m. I'm in bed.
Oh, fuck that.
I hear some motherfucker yelling my name outside.
Mind you, Psycrotes doesn't go to bed until at least 4:30 at night.
Yeah, that's about correct. I hear somebody yelling my fucking name at 6:30 in the morning. Now, I've been in some situations in my life, so I don't know who this is. I'm half asleep still.
Yeah.
But who the fuck is this? I go downstairs. I forgot to mention, his name was Budda. At least
Buddha.
That was what he said his name was.
Yeah. Did he ask you if you wanted to pray to Buddha? Like, tonight you're going to pray to me, Psycrotes.
You know what's funny? I thought to take a quick detour. I actually teamed with a worker named Budda. He was a lot cooler than this fuck. Anyway, me and Budda did the job to Shane Shadows and Simon Shadows, April 30th, 2011. Anyway, back to the story. He's outside. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? He's like, hey, man, you good? I brought some breakfast. You want something to eat? I'm like, no, it's 6:30 in the fucking morning. What are you doing at 6:30 in the morning? You got two choices. Number one, you can get the fuck off my property right now. Or, number two, and I swear to God, I hope you choose this one, you can try to come in this house. I'm going to go upstairs. I'm going to get my Smith & Wesson 40 caliber, and I'm going to deal with you myself, you fat piece of shit. Oh, what are you going to do? You going to shoot me? What did I just say?
Yeah.
So
like, that's what's going to happen.
He says some more shit. He jumps in his truck. Now, picture this. I live next to a church. There's a gate.
You do. And it's hard. It's very hard to get out of that.
Yeah, there's a gate on the other side. So he tries to peel out, not knowing there's a gate there. He gets in his truck and he fucking peels out. There's the gate. So he's got to turn around and come back. Keep in mind, he left the jar sitting on the sidewalk. I'm like, you know what? This jar's mine. But he comes back around. He jumps back out before I come out. He grabs the jar. He gets back in the truck, still yelling at me.
Didn't you say like he drove and like he kind of scooped it?
Yeah.
Like, kind of like how you scoop up a ground ball in a baseball game.
Yeah,
he
kind of just pulled it back. He pulls it for some reason. He pulls it in my neighbor's driveway. Then he peels off, still yelling and screaming all the time.
If you guys could have saw the looks on our faces, well, a lot of this was. I still can't get past the fact that the dude shit in your shower. But
now here's my theory.
My thing is how do you know? Now let me roll this out to you. How do you know that the shitter living in the car out front is not in cahoots with Buddha? How do you know that he was like, this motherfucker threw me out of the house, so he had Buddha come?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Plot twist. Honestly, here's the thing. I do wear an adult diaper to bed because I got a prostate issue. But here's the thing. If you look on adult diapers, you know what they're called? Underwear, because they're politically correct.
Yeah. Yes.
So technically, I was wearing underwear.
I'm very PC now.
Hey, you guys missing? He was like, technically, I'm wearing underwear. In quotation marks. It's underwear.
I only piss the bed like once every 3 months. It's not that bad.
I could see you wrestling Buddha outside in your adult diaper.
Dude,
underwear.
my only hope is that Buddha is watching right now, or a week from now when this podcast airs on October 18th, he's going to be listening. He's going to sit there. He's going to be like that.
Buddha, put this camera back on me. Buddha, if you're out there, let me tell you something, brother.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus Christ.
You come back on our priest's property, you will not get the same treatment as the thoughts do.
And you know what was going through my head the whole time he was doing the Sheik thing and telling the story is that when people hear this in a full stream podcast, poor 71-year-old Dee Wallace needs to follow this. So when she goes to listen to her episode, She's gonna hear Psycrotes. She's gonna hear this motherfucker right
Sexy
here.
like Otis. Oh yeah. She's gonna see me doing that.
But see, that's the thing.
Shout out to Dee Wallace. What's up? How you doing now?
So without further ado, we're about 27 minutes through. In about, let's say, 30 minutes, we're going to be back with Dee Wallace. Yes. Now, the first half of the show went off a little bit off rails because of Psycrotes. Of course, I'm back. I'm Ray. This is Matt, and we're here with Psycrotes. We're here with our very special guest. We're here on Facebook Live, and of course, any of you guys listening, a week from now on the actual podcast itself, we are here with the one and only Dee Wallace, which we mentioned last week. I had the opportunity of interviewing Dee about 8 years ago on Happy Hour TV when we were doing that. It was at the Horrifying Convention in Gettysburg, PA, and it was her, our guest last week, Rachel Hoffman, and our vintage interview guest this year, Tyler Main, who for some reason we have all those this month for the podcast, which is amazing for the month of October. How are you doing tonight, Dee? It's great seeing you.
I'm fabulous. Thank you.
You made a short called Stay Home, and that debuted today on Bloody Disgusting.
Yeah.
What, for those who haven't seen Stay Home, what can you tell everybody about your short Stay Home?
Well, it was an idea that just popped in, and I called my daughter, and she said, "Oh, I think that's great, Mom." And she called her friend, and they wrote this great script. And Chris Heck wrote it with her, with Gabrielle, and co-directed it with her. And I called some of my buddies, Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris and Kane Hodder and Barbara Crampton, and they all went, "We're in, sure." And, you know, we shot each of our individual segments in our own home, and it was COVID compliant all the way, but it's a really funny take on the COVID BS that we're all going through.
Wouldn't be as authentic.
Yeah.
And
How
that's
can it look cooler than a real dog?
Well, I mean, you know what? You bring up a good point, because the new Lion King movie, the new Lion King movie was all CGI.
Right.
That's all it was, and it's kind of sickening how real those lions look in the Lion King off of just CGI alone.
still just as fucking.
Yes, but I hate to break it to you guys. The original Lion King didn't use a real lion.
Oh, my world is shattered.
It was also a cartoon.
Socrates is about to leave right now. And now, in The Howling, you became one of the werewolves, and out of all the things you could in real life, and we were talking about this earlier, in real life, if you could transform into something, whether it be a werewolf, the chupacabra, you know, anything crazy, what do you think you would want to turn into? Like me, for example, I would love to be a dog.
Glenda.
Glenda.
I would want to be the good witch.
Nice.
Glenda from The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah. Now, what about you, Matt? If you could turn into anything at all, what would it be?
I don't know. Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Excluded in the woods somewhere.
Sounds good to me.
I mean, I'd want to be a dog. The dogs have it so easy. They get to eat, play, sleep, all that fun stuff.
I'd want to be Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan.
Either him or Jay Baller.
Boy, there's an alternate ego for you.
Really? We could be the weird aliens to them. I mean, they could come down here and be like, "Man, what's going on here?"
My theory on aliens is I'm more of a what is that? The Fermi paradox kind of guy.
Fermi paradox.
Fermi paradox. There you go. But if they did so happen to stop by, they looked at our planet and said, "Fuck those guys."
Keep going.
And kept going.
Yeah, they probably look down at us and go, "What's the point? Let's move on."
Let's just keep going this way. We're gonna exit stage left. Yeah. Over here.
Nope. We're gone.
And real quick,
what if when you die, you open your eyes and there's an alien just sitting across the table from you, smoking the bong, and it just looks at you and goes, "That was a hell of a trip, huh, man?"
I love to hear the stories that everybody has. You know, I cannot tell you how many people have come up to me and told me that they were conceived in the back seat at the drive-in during one of my movies. And you know, the heartwarming stories. There was a mom that came up to me, and she was the mother of a 10-year-old autistic child,
Oh wow.
and she'd never heard him speak.
Wow.
And she took him to see the re-release of E.T., and on the way home, he started saying every line that E.T. said in the movie.
That's
In
awesome.
10 years, she had never heard her son speak.
That's
That's
awesome.
I mean, you know, I love listening to all the stories from A to Z and meeting the people and hugging. I'm a big hugger. You probably remember that.